was very interested in growing higher density food to utilize the space in the third dimension. In other words, how can we be more efficient per unit area? And I came up with a Higro system. First of all, I had the commercial market in my plans, and the unit does therefore have a commercial pedigree. But I fast realized that there's a potential, and a massive potential, because of global urbanization and people moving towards the cities, that there's going to be a necessity for fortified or supplemental nutrition. And I wanted to design this system for high-density living environments where people, perhaps in lower income groups, can fortify their diets with highly nutritious leafy greens and improve their state of being and their well-being. So spinach, for instance, can improve or help to improve people's eyesight in the aged, and then also help to increase concentration amongst learners, which is important because that's the way out of poverty.
Okay, talking about efficiency, could you elaborate more on the efficiency of this system, space-wise and health-wise?
The unit is a reticulating system. No moisture from the column is lost to the environment. There's no problems with contamination of the soil and eutrophication issues. It only uses 5 liters of water per day. Why? Because it's a sealed system. The only moisture loss is through transpiration from the leaf surface. So from that perspective, it's highly moisture efficient. It is a reticulating system. The effluent can be recycled into the original solution. I think what is exciting about this product is it requires no electricity. So you use a compression sprayer which circulates the irrigation water, which is enriched with fertilizer, throughout the column. The novelty of such a small volume of water is that for those people that don't have a tap on hand, it's not a difficult job to go and fetch water, since you can carry 5 liters of water conveniently. Having said that, if you planted 50 plants, which is what the column can grow at once, on the ground, you might need 100 liters of water to irrigate that space, and it takes up a significant amount of space. And that's why this is so beneficial in that you can grow plants where there is no space. Remind you, it's designed for high-density living environments, perhaps where there's no soil whatsoever, and or otherwise where people just don't have the liberty of space. So it's efficient in that it uses very little space per unit area, but you can grow a substantial amount of food, and the food can supplement your diets, modern diets, and create a much better, healthy economy.
Okay. What kind of crops can be grown with this system?
We're restricted to leafy crops, and I think it would make sense that you can't grow a potato crop in the column because you destroy the sleeve or the growing medium when you harvest the crop. So we would focus on things like kale, highly nutritious, Swiss chard or spinach as people sometimes call it, herbs, strawberries is a good option as well, but mostly leafy greens.
All right. At a time when urbanization on the continent is growing, this sounds a very interesting system that can be very helpful. But this leaves me wondering, how sizable are the yields that one can get from this system?
The system can grow a crop as fast and as effectively as growing in the soil. I think so it's not going to grow any more than what you can produce in the soil. I think the benefit of the crop is that because it's a suspended system, snails and slugs and pests are unlikely to climb into the crop. So it's a largely pest-free growing environment, which is beneficial from the fact that you don't have to use poisonous chemicals to eradicate pests. So yes, you still have the same growth cycle. You still have the same amount of time to get to a harvestable yield, But what we advocate with the column is that you actually pick what you need. Don't terminate the crop. So your spinach plant can last up to 4 months because you're harvesting from it daily or what is required. You don't need refrigeration space, so there's electric saving there. And you also don't take up valuable space in a refrigerator. I think those are the advantages more so than the fact that the crop can grow faster. I think nature has its own way of growing and you can't accelerate that.
Okay, we are seeing high rates of hunger, malnutrition on the continent. How can this system be helpful in that regard?
You know, I'm not going to solve that problem, okay, but it's a holistic problem, and I'm solving an aspect of that. And my obligation in this is to supply highly nutritious vegetables to fortify modern diets, which are highly carbohydrate-based. And just by incorporating those, we're well on the way to reducing that problem.
Final point has to do with the cost or what it takes to establish or to have this system installed in one's home.
I'm very interested in relationships. I want to have long-term relationships. So I want to establish myself in Rwanda, amongst other countries. But I want to have a strong association with government and NGOs where we can actually provide training and ongoing technical support. The advantage of the system is that what we use is an app which helps with remote assistance. So effectively what will happen is that we can help people along the way where, for instance, government and otherwise NGOs don't have the manpower. So this exciting part of the package that we're supplying can locate the columns or the tower gardens, and we can also provide remote assistance for people that might be struggling. We can also assign extension services to those people that have a significant problem. And then also those people that are inefficient and are not interested, we can actually take that column away or the growing tower away, and we can go and give it to somebody who's more deserving. So it's a combination, it's a package. We supply the fertilizer for a year, we supply the assistance for the year.